You're listening to Straight No Chaser, the only show to quench your talk radio thirst. Some programs dilute the issues. We only serve the hard stuff. Old school, new school. Grab a glass and welcome your hosts, the Chief, MBZ, and Pastor C.
All right. Welcome to our first broadcast of Straight No Chaser. Please join me in welcoming my co-host. I am MBZ.
I'm the Chief.
And I am Pastor C.
And we are super excited to be coming here and talking with you guys today. Today's cocktail will be rap culture and violence. So this conversation is actually a very hot topic this week. It has been for the last couple of weeks in light of the death, or I should say the murder, of rapper XXX Tentacion. He was a rapper that was known for having beef with people, but was trying to make a change and was robbed and shot in Broward County, Florida. So the reason why his death has brought up this conversation of rap culture and its close relationship with violence is because a lot of the rappers in his genre, a lot of these new age rappers, are portraying kind of a gang lifestyle, a lifestyle that is exactly what I just said, a portrayal. So they flex colors, they flex gang signs, all of these things. But the problem is they don't have the support behind them to really sustain this lifestyle. So when they do want to change an image, or when they do want to change, they've already dug themselves into this hole where they have real beef with real gangs. So let's take it over to Pastor C.
Well, MBZ, this is a wonderful topic, and you started with something that I believe is very important in our time today. We just saw on live television a young man land in his car, deceased, and he was a rapper, and it seems as if he was robbed, and therefore, he was killed as well. But I do believe that the culture today is embracing a level of violence and portraying gang membership and gang affiliation to be something that is glorious. Okay.
I agree.
And when I was coming up, I grew up in the city of Chicago. A lot of guys who lived in the hood and was from the hood didn't want to be a part of it. And so it is mind-boggling to me to see young people in this generation trying to glorify a place that they know nothing about. However, they are also trying to portray behaviors and conduct from a place that they have not lived in, and it attracts unnecessary attention because you have people who are from that place, right. People who are from the struggle, and they feel disrespected when you have middle-class young people with great upbringings trying to be thugs, and it is literally costing them their lives. And so it is disheartening, Amber, to really see the death rate in hip hop or in the rap culture increase. And a lot of it is because you have young men who are trying to be what they were not or what they are not, and it's costing them their lives. And I want to ask the Chief, though, being from Baltimore, Chief, what is your take on this generation's thought process as it relates to gang and violence and stuff? Because you were a police guy. How do you feel about this, and what do you have to say about this particular topic?
Well, the culture of gangs has been around for a long time. Gangs, you could trace gang activity way back to the early 1900s, late 1800s. If you move into some of the larger cities, as people were starting to immigrate from across the pond, gangs were there. So the whole notion of gangs themselves is not new. But what you've seen over the years is that the gang culture has evolved and it's become a little more brazen, and it's become a little more violent.
Yes, sir.
Than what we've seen in the past.
Yes.
Yeah, and I mean, when I was coming up in Chicago, there were two major gangs, and they didn't start off as being violent gangs. That they were actually organizations that helped the community. They helped the school programs, and they evolved into violent organizations. And it wasn't glorious. It was costing individuals their lives, but you had people who were a part of them by default. They came from that environment. Therefore, they had to, or they wanted to be a part of something that gave them a sense of identity. A lot of homes where I'm from was very broken and dysfunctional. So the young men were attracted to gangs because it was a sense of belonging.
Right.
And I believe that a lot of them probably would not be a part of those things. So it is disheartening to see young men who don't have to be, and they're choosing to be.
Right. And I'm glad that you brought that up, because I wanted to kind of shed light on something that Joe Budden said on Everyday Struggle, which was a show that he used to be on, and he was talking to DJ Academics. DJ Academics was actually very close to X, and he came up and the subject of this rapper came up in a show one day, and he told him, like, listen, man, like, you are bringing up things that is gonna get this man killed. You don't understand. Joe Budden said himself, I know what that life is really like. I have real OGs behind me. People like that represent themselves. They are trying to portray this lifestyle, but they really don't have the backing for it. So what they're going to do is dig themselves into this hole where it went from the internet to the streets. And he said it, I'm tired of seeing the internet in the streets and the streets on the internet, because it is two different things. You have these people who are trying to gain popularity in pop culture by imitating this gang culture, and they mess around and they mess with the wrong people. And now they've dug themselves into a hole that they really know nothing about. They've actually entered into a lifestyle with the words or their actions that they choose, and it's like, oh shoot, like I was just trying to do this to gain clout as a rapper, and now I have real gangbangers after me. And
exactly.
It's like, come on. And one of the examples I wanted to bring up as well was 6ix9ine. The rapper 6ix9ine, he's actually gaining a lot of popularity, but he wanted to beef with a rapper out of Chicago, Chief Keef, and the gang that he is from. But Chief Keef is really from that gang, and they back him. But anyways, he wanted to beef with him and the gang, but he did all this stuff for social media and had read this, read that, blood this, blood that. But as soon as he actually went to Chicago and pulled this publicity stunt where he was looking for them, he was actually pictured with a bulletproof Escalade and police around him. So it's almost like, yeah, I know I'm doing this for clout and I want people to think I'm hard, but behind the scenes, you really have the police behind you. Like, you don't want this for real.
Exactly.
So I know that you actually know a little bit more about that situation. So I would like you, Pastor C, to share a little bit about that with our audience.
Well, I am connected with a couple of guys, because I am from Chicago, and you have guys who are entrenched, involved, really committed to organizations that we call gangs. They are in it, they are committed to it, they are loyal. And so when you get individuals speaking against it or dishonoring it, they take offense to it.
Right.
And they want to protect and also defend what they feel is their family. Okay. And so that's why I feel it's very dangerous for those who are not a part of this particular lifestyle to play as if they are.
Right.
Because you have individuals who live it, sleep it, and breathe it. They are literally in the trenches. I'm talking about grown men in their 40s and people in their 50s, and they gave their lives and their commitment to this way of life. And so here's the disheartening thing that I'm seeing in rap culture. and maybe you can help me out, and BZ. A lot of these guys don't live the life that they rap about.
Yes, absolutely.
And so I think it becomes deceptive to the hearer. And you have a lot of young people in this generation idolizing people who are really imposters.
Right.
They are creating an image that really does not exist. However, you have young people gravitating to them and choosing to idolize them and try and be and imitate a life that really don't exist.
Right.
And I want to ask you, do you think the rap culture is affecting your generation in a positive way, if it is, or in a negative way? What would be your observation?
I would say a little bit of both, and I'll explain both. So I'm going to start with the positives. Rap culture nowadays is making it so that anybody could really be a rapper. Whether if you're rapping about a struggle, you now have girls who are coming, you have girls like Chanel West Coast that admit that they're not from any, violent background, but they're just rapping about their life. They're just rapping about this, rapping about that. And rap has always kind of been a platform that has been used to draw people together in the sense that they attract people who are alike them. So even back in the day, like when NWA and, Public Enemy were out, they united people through their raps about police brutality and stuff like that. So the good thing that I think is coming out of rap today is that people from all different perspectives are able to partake in it. But the negative side is what is popular right now is mumble rap, is what they call it. So that's your YBN Namirs.
So that's like
your, right. That's your Uzis and Lil Pumps and stuff like that. And the problem with that is, let's say you have a SoundCloud rapper, right? A new SoundCloud rapper. They're like, all right, I'm going to do this rap thing. So they see World Star Hip Hop, which is where a lot of the new rappers gain their clout. And most of the rap videos on World Star Hip Hop are these rappers in their neighborhoods with their friends, with money, with jewelry, with all this stuff, guns, all that stuff. So they figure, all right, well, I want to be a rapper, but I also need this huge audience. And the common denominator I see are these videos with all this stuff. So now you have these new rappers who are trying to come up, make music videos, and they're like, all right, well, in order for this video to be popping, I need some half-naked girls, I need some money, I need some cars, I need some guns.
So it's the image.
Right.
Okay.
So they need this image. But the problem is they then evolve into having those same people who are in the videos, normally they're friends, the people around them, and they start kind of confusing the two things. They go from just trying to portray this image to, all right, now we're going to sell a little bit of weed. Now the weed deal got messed up, so we're going to hit a lick on this guy. And all of a sudden it's like, yeah, me and my bros hit a lick on this dude, gang. Right. And now it goes from that little incident into now we're a full-fledged gang, quote unquote, and now we're better than your gang because we did this, and we gonna save our brothers, we gonna ride for our brothers till we die. So it's something that you and I can see and be like, okay, that's an image, they're doing it for pop culture. But rappers who up and coming rappers who are inspired by these rappers and the audiences that are looking at these rappers really believe that this is what they're doing.
And I truly believe that.
So it's like, yeah.
But here's my thing. I do want to say that all rap is not bad.
Of course not. Yeah.
You know, I grew up with your EPMDs. I grew up with your Eric B. and Rakims, with your LL Cool J.
Yes.
In the era where I believe hip hop was at its best.
And the thing about hip hop back then is you still had people talking about selling drugs and stuff like that, but they also gave the message in those songs that I'm doing this because I had to get out of here, because I had to support my family, because this, that, and the third. Right. It went from that to now in 2018.